Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SHW F1 podcast. I am Tom Delicati, here with John White and Brady King. We are your underinformed American buddies talking about F1, here to recap, recount, review the week in F1, but also that includes but is not limited to the Singapore Grand Prix.
Fair enough.
In this episode, John and I will share our experience of watching the race together. We will talk about the McLaren team winning the Constructors' Championship. Also some papaya rules in play. We'll have a little talk about the Drivers' Championship. We have a rookie dudie to hand out. But before we can do any of that, a tradition unlike any other, and that is our 15-second race reviews. No change in the standings this week, boys.
That's what I like to hear.
John, you have another point added to your tally. You've widened the gap by one more point. Let me put it that way. John's at 118. Brady and I are sitting at 112. Nobody scored a three-pointer this weekend, but a surprising amount of top five, bottom five correct picks. 7 and 8 between us. That's a lot.
That is
considering this weekend. We nailed it.
We did. And considering how unpredictable Singapore could be, this is why we predict top five, bottom five. You don't predict them in order.
Nope.
But just to remind the listeners, John, your three-pointer was a Verstappen win. Brady, your three-pointer was a Piastri win. Mm-hmm. Mine was a Williams top five, which that got shot on Saturday.
It did.
Those cheaters.
Yes.
Carlos tried really hard.
Hey, proud of him from going pit lane to points. That's pretty cool in Singapore. That's a pretty big deal. So this just means that I start out with my 15-second race review, and I will kick us off now. This is just more of a bulleted list. So Verstappen couldn't make it 3 in a row. Oscar is big mad at Lando for being faster than him all race with a broken front wing. And somehow Mercedes dominates between the race start and the race finish, Toto looked like he aged another 7 years. Am I wrong with that? He looks so old now. He looks so old.
We were talking
Maybe
about that on Sunday.
In the heat.
Gosh,
maybe.
It's bad. It's bad. Poor guy needs like some Botox or something.
I will not put it in my body.
Is that Arnold? Is that
He kind of sounds like Arnold a little bit.
Does a little bit. All right, Brady, you're up.
What's with all the F1 cameras just missing all the action? First stake runs around for like 15 laps with an end plate flopping all around. And then there was overtakes galore, apparently, because I didn't see them. And then there was the Alonso passing Hamilton on the last lap, which should have been super exciting. And to top it all off, my fourth threesome and nobody saw it. I mean, wait, no, strike that. That didn't happen.
Nobody saw it. Poor Brady.
Just can't get it on camera.
We got to see the camera work of people hugging instead of fighting for position on the last lap. That was good.
We had a championship to celebrate there.
I guess.
Golly.
It was rough. Okay. John, finish it off.
In honor of McLaren winning the Constructors and recent questions about papaya rules, I thought I would review a few papaya rules I found on the internet for you. Rule number 1, never judge a papaya by its cover. Rule number 2, ripen on the counter, not in the fridge. Number 3, never eat under... Damn it, I pulled the wrong papaya rules. Sorry about that, guys.
That's funny. I was going to try and do something with like papaya rules are now cider house rules, or just like go through every like movie with the rules in it.
Oh gosh, it was a little rough. Even if you're not a McLaren fan, but just watching this season unfold and how much they've just stuck their own foot in it.
Right.
It just feels like they can't avoid the landmines of issues between the drivers, or we'll just call it inter-team issues. Intra-team. Shoot.
Yeah. That's okay.
I'm having a hard time. They just seem to...
We're here for you.
They can't get out of their own way. I guess that's a better way to say it.
There you go.
They keep stepping on the landmines or in the bear traps, whatever. I don't know what to think about it anymore. I don't know if I have anything more to say.
It feels
It
like
has
this
to
is
do with
what's
their
bound to
structure.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have two top drivers battling for the top spot. You can say that you don't want this to happen, but eventually it's going to. Like, maybe when it's race 3, everybody's going to play nice, but when it comes down to it, it's how do you keep them both happy? They both can't win. What are we going to do?
Yeah, I think it's. I saw plenty of memes after the race comparing Piastri to like Darth Vader, like in the beginning when he started just turning towards the Sith and with the black cloaks, and like this was the awakening moment or darkening moment for him. I think like, yeah, they're only going to play so nice for so long, and when you have a structure like that where it's like you're trying to be overly fair, you have two number one, there's no clear, concise, and then somebody gets bumped into. It's just, man, he was a baby the entire race about it though. That's what I will say. Like I thought normally he's pretty ice cold out there on the circuit, but this weekend like he might as well just had tears in his eyes and cried the whole time for 63 laps.
I give him a little bit of a pass because he couldn't exactly see that Lando didn't just hit him. Like he was trying to avoid the other contact. But then when he was told that that's what happened and his response was, oh, okay, so you just run into your teammate rather than run into somebody else. It's like, dude, these are like snap decisions made in like milliseconds. Like, I don't know. I get it. He's hot. But he did come across like a whiny baby here a little bit. I mean, I don't see what else Lando could have done. I mean, he left a spot wide open for him. Like, there was a hole there. Lando went for it. I don't know what he expected him. Just, I'm not going to go into that gap. I don't understand. I don't know what he expected to happen there.
I will. Again, it's results based, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because it happened to Oscar and he was the one who you'd make the argument lost out because of that. It was obviously very, very salty on the radio all race long. And I feel like that, and John and I were discussing this as we were watching the race. I feel like that's very common. Doesn't matter who the driver is or who the team is. If something happens to me, if I am the victim of something and I'm still in the middle of a competition and I'm trying to talk about being the victim, I'm going to be pretty damn salty. It doesn't really matter who the person is, what the sport is. I'm still in the middle of the competition. That's the thing. We're listening to the radio and we're hearing him talk about this. He's not like completely level-headed in that moment. He's driving 200 miles an hour down the streets of Singapore.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm trying to give him a little bit of grace in that regard, but I will take you back here. So Lando and Oscar battling it out in Canada. You remember this?
Mm-hmm.
Take me back.
It was late in the race. There were like, I don't know, 6-7 laps to go, maybe more. Oscar is protecting the inside. This is down the very long straight coming into the final chicane, the Wall of Champions.
Mm-hmm.
Down the long straight. Oscar's protecting the inside. Lando goes to the outside. Touches Oscar. Puts himself in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Lando out of the race. Oscar goes on to finish. No issues. No harm to Oscar's car. He goes on and he handles his business for the rest of the race. Lando out. But that was another instance where something happened to Oscar, but nobody benefited from it. And so he didn't whine and complain about it. But because this instance where like somebody did something that he felt was uncalled for, unfair, whatever it is, but the result wound up being we'll call it a penalty for Oscar. Obviously, he's very upset about it. He was penalized through no fault of his own.
Sure.
Whereas in Canada, there was no penalty. He wasn't at fault, but he wasn't penalized either.
Sure.
So you're not angry at the action, you're angry at the outcome.
I believe that's the case.
Okay. That makes complete sense to me.
I think lap one, first couple turns, these are racing incidents. This is everybody's packed up. You're in a crowd, split second decision like Brady was talking about. It's really hard to fault Lando in that regard of like, he rammed into me. He was trying to avoid another car, so he rammed into me. I got news for Oscar. It doesn't matter which car was on the right of Lando. The same thing is happening.
Yeah.
If it was Leclerc, if it was Russell, if it was Antonelli, if it was Hamilton, if it was Verstappen, Lando was making that same exact decision in that split second. So it had nothing to do with Oscar. It had nothing to do with being on the same team. That's my personal take.
Yeah, the part that I have a hard time with it is that if it was any other car, take Lando out of that situation, put any other car in there, like especially like a Max or something, you leave that gap open, they're going for it. And if the fact that they bump you a little
100%.
bit, the fact that they bump you a little bit is just a consequence of there's no damage. The stewards looked at it, said, no harm, no foul. Let's move on. So for you,
the damage happened to Lando's car,
right?
Yeah, on the front wing.
The only thing that he can be upset about in that situation is that he thought it was unfair because it was a teammate doing that. But I got news for you: the gap that he left there was big enough for Lando's car plus more. Like, you left that gap in there for him to take that spot.
And
if
how
you don't
many
want him to be there,
times-
then you got to block him off.
How many times in the last 2 seasons have we seen Oscar take advantage of a gap that Lando left for him?
100%.
Every
Right?
time.
Every time. Thank
Every
you, John.
time?
You are right. Every time.
Yeah.
He just happened not to bump him.
Right. Yeah. And I understand, like, it's not, and again, I think it's just like, it has nothing to do with the fact that he was teammates. If you put a different driver in that same car, he's making the same move. Whether you're talking about the car that Oscar's in or the car that Lando's in, the situation unfolds the same 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
That's hyperbole, but you get what I'm saying here. Like, nobody in any car is doing anything different in that situation.
Yeah.
Including, but not limited to, Oscar complaining the entire race afterwards.
Right.
Everybody else would do the same thing.
Do you remember Monaco last year when the Alpines smashed into each other? Like, that was a situation.
No, I blocked that out of my mind.
Yeah,
it didn't happen.
But like, that was a situation where there was a small gap, and you want to poke your nose in there when it's like another team and you're being really aggressive. I mean, ultimately, I think it was a really stupid move, which is why Ocon got ran out of town anyway. But you can make an argument that I was being very aggressive. But when it's your teammate, you don't do something like that. What happened here was not Lando being overly aggressive. He left a huge gap for him. Like, there again, a whole car's with plus much more in there. So this was not Lando just being overly aggressive. This was just normal racing. And I don't know what you're complaining about other than the result was you lost out. And sorry, that's racing. We're not handing this to you.
Well, and I think that's the second part of this, is we say it wasn't Lando being overly aggressive, but how many times over the past 2 seasons have we said Lando is not aggressive enough? And normally, to Tom's point earlier, it's Oscar taking advantages of gaps. And this time, Lando decides that he's going to be aggressive, and now he's getting a bunch of crap for it because, lo and behold, it worked out. So poor Lando's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't, because if he doesn't, then Oscar's going to take advantage of everything that he leaves open. But if there's an advantage out there, it's like, well, you're being too aggressive for your teammate. And that's not necessarily the case.
It's going to be very interesting going forward now. Like, speaking of the papaya rules, so we've secured the championship now from the constructors' point of view, right? So from Zach's,
that's what we were told.
Yeah. So
we
from
did
Zach's
see a
position,
celebration.
I have my. It's a celebration, but Piastri wasn't invited. So from Zach's position, mission accomplished, right? We had the championship. So is it now just, you guys are free to race? Please don't cost me millions and millions of dollars.
God, I would hope so. I mean, that's papaya rules, is like race, but don't cause any damage.
But now is it going to be a little bit, I mean, I assume regardless of what Zach actually wants, I assume it's going to be a little bit more aggressive now from those two. But do you think that, like,
at least
from the
Oscar,
management, that they're going to say, hey, we won the championship, so you guys are a little bit more free to race?
My gut reaction is that nothing changes. My gut reaction is that things have happened up to this point, and we take this one incident and we're like, oh yeah, things have changed now. But go back another 7 races ago to Canada, or however long it was, like, were we saying the same thing? Like, things are changing now because, they got in a collision and it cost a bunch of damage and points and all that stuff. I think these guys are who they are. I don't think you're going to see a different version of them. You might see more of who they are. They talk about this a lot. Like when somebody gets, comes into a lot of money, someone becomes wealthy. It doesn't change who you are. You just become more of that same person.
Yeah.
And I kind of think it'd be the same thing. Now that they have the Constructors Championship wrapped up and they're going towards that Drivers Championship, you might get an amplified version of who they already are, but I don't think you're going to see a lot of this just catty middle school girl type stuff. I hope not. I mean, I guess I hope I do, because
I don't know.
We've got 6
if
more
it
races.
keeps getting closer and closer like this,
we act
like these guys are all
provide some
points.
It'll provide some good talking points for us.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
We act like these guys are like, seasoned veterans, but like the fact is they're still mostly kids, right? Like, yeah. We say this catty high school stuff. Like, you mean like last year for Oscar?
That's enough of that. All right. Papaya rules. We'll see what happens. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back. We'll talk about Drivers Championship a little bit more and rookie duty.
Hero of the Race Trophies, brought to you by Fernando Alonso. Tired of fighting for 13th and pretending you're building data for next year? Don't be. Every overtake, every strategy blunder survived, every radio rant deserves recognition. There's only one P1, but you can still snag P5, P9, P17, hell, even a heroic DNF if you've made it entertaining enough. And for that, there's Hero of the Race Trophies by Fernando, because some side plots deserve their own podium. As Fernando says, if you talk to me every lap, I'll disconnect the radio. But if you give me a trophy, well, then I'll have a trophy. Hero of the Race Trophies by Fernando.
He had the best radio of the weekend.
That was fantastic.
It was gold.
There were a lot of contenders here. Everybody did really well this weekend in terms of what they broadcast on the radio. I felt that was really good. The pictures they were broadcasting at the time they chose to broadcast them, that's a different story. Yeah. We've already exhausted that topic in previous episodes. You want to hear a take on that? Go listen back to the backlog catalog of our previous episodes. But the race radio from Fernando Alonso, put that in the Smithsonian. It was so good the entire time. Go ahead.
Is it actually possible to remove the radio? Like he's like, if you keep talking to me, I'm gonna just disconnect the radio. Like,
I don't know. Ask Piastri.
Is that a thing?
As Zach Brown was talking to him at the end of the race.
I mean, that's because he just flat out climbed out of the car, I guess. So that is an option. Like Alonso could just be like, "I'm done here."
Yeah,
I think he
pulls
can,
over to the side.
There's a box like right up front that it looks like they plug into, and you just unplug that bad boy.
I'm just thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking he has like AirPods or whatever. He's got them plugged in. He's like, "That's it.
Bluetooth disconnected."
He's shoving his fingers up his helmet to try and double click the AirPod. Hey Siri, hang up.
God. Yeah.
Hey Siri, hang up. That'd be pretty funny.
What a day from Fernando.
Yeah, he was awesome. And he did. Now I'm looking at the standings here. You guys are going to have to fill me in because it looks like he did pass Hamilton. Is that because Hamilton got a penalty?
No, he just passed him in the last lap.
No,
that's what I
thought. There was a 5-second penalty associated.
No, Hamilton got a 5-second penalty. We were waiting for that to be awarded towards the end of the race. It was about 3 hours after race close.
Okay, this is where. So maybe that's why I was confused because I still wanted to see what was going on, and they didn't want to show it. But like, Hamilton's brakes are on fire, and I know they even asked is this safe for him to be driving around? And then Alonso's they said, oh, well, it's no big deal. Fernando's 45 seconds back. And then all of a sudden it's like, well,
we just kept watching the time come down.
He might catch him. Well, maybe we should put a camera on him. And since we didn't, I didn't really know what happened. So thanks, F1.
Yeah, we were just watching the timing tower, but I know Fernando finished a little less than half a second behind Hamilton. And he was yelling on the radio about that.
Yeah.
And then apparently Hamilton got a 5-second penalty, so it didn't matter because Fernando did finish P7 in that regard.
Fantastic.
Good for him.
He's the hero of the race.
Indeed he is. So in the drivers' championship standings, Oscar Piastri holds a 22-point lead over Lando Norris.
Yes.
He holds a 63-point lead over Max Verstappen.
Yes.
And the gap to George Russell down in fourth place is 99 points.
Yes.
Which, for all intents and purposes, is insurmountable.
Yes.
Happy for George that he won this race, but he's not making up that much ground with 7 races or 6 races?
Six
plus
races
sprints
left
to go?
Yeah, not
6 plus
not on
sprints.
3 drivers simultaneously. You know.
Right. I still think it's a pretty tall order for Max to come away winning this thing. I still think
he doesn't just have to beat Piastri; he also has to beat Lando. So,
correct.
Like, both of them have to be bad, and he has to be really good.
Correct.
And I don't see that happening.
Has happened,
on a single race, sure, but over the next 6 races, I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think Azerbaijan was the outlier. I think Coda's going to tell us a story about where that Red Bull car actually is compared to the McLarens.
Mm-hmm.
I think going to the United States Grand Prix again. I think, and I've said this before. Las Vegas is a good opportunity for Verstappen to win again.
Yep.
But I think if you look at like Coda, maybe Mexico City, definitely Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And definitely Abu Dhabi. Those are really, really, and Qatar too. Those are going to be really strong McLaren tracks. So if Verstappen shows up at Coda, puts it on pole, winds up winning, or is within a couple seconds of whoever wins, then that says something about where that Red Bull car is. Because earlier this season, if you would have put those cars on Circuit of the Americas, I think that Red Bull's finishing 6th, 7th. Like it just didn't have the pace. But something changed recently before Monza to make it very competitive. Now, is it competitive everywhere? Time will tell. But this is not about Red Bull. It's not about Max. This is about the Drivers' Championship. So,
which is
gun
really
gun to your head
Oscar
right
and Lando.
now. Yeah, gun to your head right now. What's going to happen?
Gun to my head, huh? We're threatening violence to figure out who wins the F1.
It's a figure of speech. Please don't put a gun to your head, please.
It's got to be, for me, Piastri. Like, I don't see him making big mistakes. Like, he has made one, but that's the first time that he's made a huge mistake in like a year and a half of racing. So I don't see him making enough big mistakes to let anybody else in. So even like this week, where things seemingly all went against him, right? As we were saying, like, seemingly. I mean, it wasn't terrible.
No,
but
everything went against Max. Remember, that's what he said on the team radio.
Yeah, sure.
He
Yeah,
said,
everything's
going against me.
And then 2 laps later, fastest lap.
Chunks of time out of it. Anyways, go ahead.
But like, he didn't get the preferential treatment for the pit stop. He didn't get. I mean, he got bumped off of on the first lap. Things just didn't go his way this week, and his net loss was just a couple of points. And you're going to need a lot more than that to get him out of first place. So what he needs to do, I don't want to see him mail it in. He can't do that. He can't afford to just like, coast it all the way through. But I just don't see him making enough mistakes. He's too clinical.
Yeah, the amount of points Lando needs to score and Oscar can't score in order for this to take a turn over the next 6 races, I don't see happening. But, maybe what I'm hoping is something has sparked within Lando over the past few races that gives him that push that he needs to be that much more competitive, because now you're kind of like on any given weekend, what we're seeing is like 4 really strong drivers coming up every now and again. So I don't think that like pole position's guaranteed over the next 6 races. And if pole position's not guaranteed because Max is doing really well, George will step up, and then you have the 2 McLarens, pole really determines where you're going to finish here. Like, it's a big determining factor over the next 6 races. It is for every race. But if he's not guaranteed pole, then He's not guaranteed P1.
Yeah, I don't think Lando's got it in him. I don't think he can do it. Things would have to fall his way. He'd have to get lucky. But on pure, if everybody finishes every race for the next 6 races for the end of the season, Lando has to win a minimum of 3 of them to make this even a mathematical option. You know, and I understand the math is he can, if he's within a race, if he's within 25 points, then he can still do it at Abu Dhabi. I get that mathematically.
I think it's pronounced maths.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But in reality, finishing second and your teammate finishes third, that's not nearly as good as you winning the race and your teammate finishing second. I mean, it's more than double the points difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I still don't think McLaren's going to win every race from here on out, obviously. Like, they haven't won in 4 or 5 races now in a row after their strong running at the beginning of the season. So their advantage over the rest of the field seems to be leveling off. And so if wins aren't more or less presumed and they're just neck and neck, there's no way to take someone other than Piastri at this point. Now, if we could be having a very different conversation after Mexico. We could be going into Brazil after things happen for the next 2 races and be like, we could have a totally different scenario that we're looking at depending on what happens. But as of right now, gun to my head, Oscar Piastri is your world champion.
Yeah.
Could there be a little bit of a pressure cooker going on for him, though? You know, it's different to operate with a target on your back versus, you know, it's the hunter versus the hunted. And is the pressure different being the hunted?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
I think it is.
But he'll handle that. Like, that's our confidence in Oscar, is that he has the ability to handle it.
I haven't seen him yet, like, show a crack, right? We've seen the other guys crack under pressure, other than Max. Max is sort of the outlier, right? But, like, we've seen Charles crack in certain places. We've seen Lando do it. Hell, we've seen...
I don't know. I
Hamilton.
saw Max kick a tire once.
I mean, that's fair, but that was a couple years ago, right?
I saw Max shove an Ocon once.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And Ocon. Not sure if it was, you know...
it was at least one Ocon.
There was an Ocon there, yeah.
Right.
One or
A
more
tire?
Ocons.
Yes, he kicked a tire and shoved an Ocon.
It's like stats on the back of his F1 card. Number of Ocon shoved. 1.
Mm-hmm.
1.
That's true. 121 podiums.
Yep.
1 Ocon pushed in a garage.
I think the
It'd be
best
cooler
case
if he
scenario...
stuffed him in a locker. That would be even cooler.
Oh, yes. Just shoved a baguette down his throat.
Oh my god. They're all like, "What? Where's Ocon? He's got to start the race soon." I was like, "What? Ocon? Never heard of him."
Give him a swirly.
Oh gosh.
Wouldn't it be
okay.
really nice,
All right.
though, if we got to Abu Dhabi and it was Oscar, Lando, like it was Lewis and Max,
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh yeah,
down to the last race?
after the last couple of seasons and the way I thought this season was going to go, if it could come down to even just an outside shot, they're within 20 points or whatever. So if somehow Lando can win and Oscar crashes out or whatever, at least it gives me something to root for. I just don't want to go to that last race with nothing to race for.
Yeah.
Well, and if we get to that point, I think it would be way cooler if they're within single-digit points. But
Sure.
just because that allows, different things to happen. But there is an element of this, of like in baseball. You're not out of the game. You could be down 10 runs in the bottom of the ninth, but until you get that last out, that's when you're out.
Yep.
And if we can get to Abu Dhabi and we're kind of feeling that same feeling of like, it's really improbable, but something could happen, and we're still feeling that the entire time during the race, that's going to make the experience great for the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just have to wait a little bit till we get there.
Right.
All right. Rookie duty time.
Okay. Taking nominations.
My nomination is a man who's won many of these awards. I really, and it's just because of the radio messages that we got out of Fernando. But I'm going to go with Hajar for his battle with Fernando.
The radio
So
was
like
gold.
not a performance duty. This was a.
He was trying to be the dude.
Yeah,
he was trying to be the dude.
This is a
He was
full
trying.
dude moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he was
went
working
full
hard
dude.
at it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'll go with the performance one, and I'll say Kimmy. He kept it up there the whole week, but that's just based on like, him just doing a good job. He wasn't really the dude. I feel like this was a weak dude. So
We don't have to
I'm
give
with you.
one. We don't
Well,
have to.
no,
give
no.
one.
That was just the way I was feeling. I think I'm being convinced that maybe
I think
Isaac's our
Hajar
dude.
is. When you're bare knuckle
Yeah?
boxing Fernando Alonso over a handful of laps like that, like, I like that. That's a dude.
Yeah.
Are we in
It is a
agreement?
bit of a dude.
Isaac Hajar is a dude.
Honorable
this
mention
week.
to Behrman. I thought he was
Yeah.
a dude this weekend too.
Yeah, Ollie B was pretty good.
But my heart is with the tiny
One
Frenchman.
Isaac. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Are you gonna be okay with that, John? Did you remember he was French?
He is one of the few French that I don't hate.
You hear that, Isaac?
Hey, Tom,
he
do you
doesn't
think-
hate you.
Do you think someday our podcast transcripts or whatever are going to be used in court against John for like
A French
Yeah,
hate
it's-
crime or something? Nah,
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't take it that far.
It's not
like
if,
on
it's
October
when.
7th you said he is quote one of the few French that you're okay
That I don't hate. Not that I like. That I don't hate.
Yeah.
It's
It's
big
just a matter of
difference.
time.
All right, Isaac. An agreement
vote.
all around? Yeah, he's a dude.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Congrats
Isaac.
to Kimmy too. Can we split the dude? I feel like we've done this before.
We
Yeah,
have
we've done
done
that.
We have
Yeah,
had a
shared
split
duties.
duty.
All right. I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna vote half Isaac, half Kimmy. Am I allowed
Okay.
to do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
But if you both vote Isaac, that's fine.
I already said Kimmy, so I'm fine with splitting it half.
I'm good with handing out two duties.
All right.
Two number twos. I'm fine.
The
with
left hand in the left hand we've got Kimmy. In the right hand we've got Isaac. Congratulations, boys, on your rookie duty. That'll do it for us. This is the end of our episode. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for listening. We'll be back with you next week. Till then,
Good night.
have a good night.
that. Adios.